Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Is the attack on Shannon that's coming from Tamra, is Tamra upset about the ending or her exit and being in the Trace Amigas thing? Is she mad at Shannon because that's ruined for her? Or is the 10 years of dealing with Shannon's drunkenness, is that really now it's just you reached your wits end because she has a DUI under her belt now? This is really weird. Tamara is giving off just weirdness for me. You're calling her a friend, but yet you're hollering and screaming at her at a table in a restaurant in front of other women, and you're screaming, "You're an alcoholic! You're an alcoholic! You're an alcoholic! Get help! Get help! Go to rehab, not therapy. You owe him 30, you owe him $65,000, $70,000. You just, is that a friend? Is that how you hold her accountable?" And the weird thing is, you're trying to be friends with Alexis, someone who sued you. Okay, you're her ex-husband, her husband, her pending ex, whatever. She sued you, and it cost you $50,000 to fight this case. And you can seriously, this is your way of being a friend. You can sit at the opposite's house talking about Shannon and hearing all about John and Shannon and you trying to connect the dots about Shannon and all her drunken tangents. And like, Tamra, when does it end with you? Like, what is this? What are you doing? You're very weird. You're very weird. And then the battery that Johnny J has in Alexis's back, that needs to be studied. Because, honey, that girl is so amped up. So just everything out her mouth is about John. I mean, get rid of her already. Get Alexis off my screen. Good googly muggly. What am I talking about, besties? Well, hello. It's Behind the Shade once again. And we're going to get into this Real Housewives of Orange County. It's season 18, episode 5. Dinner Party Disaster is the name of this title. Do we like that? Because it does pretty much sum up the episode. Not sure if we need to change the title, but what do you think? I'm open. I'm here for a good old clapback opening, a good old dig opening. I think we have some. I think there was one that stood out. We'll get to it because I have plenty of notes. Okay, so let's get into it. Let me take a deep breath, honey, because this episode here. So it starts off, Terry and Heather wake up in their penthouse. They're having breakfast. It's Valentine's Day. And so they're talking about how ripped Heather was when she came home yesterday from the golf event. So, Heather was all about the champagne. So Terry was like, yeah, you came in. You was a little, I forgot the word he used, but she was drunk. Okay. So they bring up the paparazzi thing. He said, not that again. So he says he loves taking pictures for the paparazzi. And so Terry says if Katie has the number to the paparazzi, then he wants it. Because he loves taking pictures. So we get Katie. She invites Shannon over for Valentine's Day. Shannon is Katie's Valentine's. And so she made a little charcuterie board. She's getting all the things. She got her gifts, flowers, all that. But I don't know. What was the gifts? Another pair of Prada shades? We don't know what the gift was. But we did see the flowers in the gift bag. Let's see. So It is It's so Tamara and Emily go for a nice little walk. It's Valentine's Day again. I'm repeating that. It's also Emily and Shane's 15th wedding anniversary. So they talk about Jen and Ryan going to Vegas, and she's like, "Yeah, I didn't like my shades. They're not my style." She won this Prada shades. Remember at the golf event, Katie gifted her because she won the tournament. So she says she thinks she's gonna give them to Jen since Jen hanging out in Vegas. Maybe she'll take them there. So they're just like, yeah, like, well, Ryan probably paid for that, and Emily's like, well, yeah, duh. So Tamara says, well, she just can't sit at home and look at her empty bank account. I was like, that was a good one, Tamara. So then Emily says, she just doesn't like women who, got other people paying for her life pretty much. And women who can't put the work in. And so Tamara's like, yeah, Jen doesn't have that personality to take care of herself. And she's saying like, but her and Emily do. And I'm like, how? Tamara, I'm asking the question. How? You're married. So how do you know you have the get go to survive by yourself? Have you done it before? You've been married before. You're married now. I'm just trying to figure out where is your example of being, independent. And Emily, you too. You just said this your 15th wedding anniversary. When have you been independent? I'm just asking. I'm not saying they haven't. I just want to know when, because we haven't seen it since she been on my TV. I'll be having I'm coming with the questions. I'm always gonna have these extra questions. So I just want to know how. So they talk about the golf event, and they've been wondering why Shannon was so quiet, and they couldn't understand why Katie was coming at Heather so hard about that paparazzi stuff. And she said she's better. So they're saying like Katie better have her ducks in a row, her T's crossed, and her I's dotted because Heather is going to tear her apart. And it's like, ooh, let's all be scared of Heather. Okay. When did we become scared of Heather? Now, I don't remember episodes, but besties, if you can remember a time where they were or we are supposed to be scared of Heather, can you remind me, please? Because I'm like, okay. So at Heather's, Gina and Jen come over for Valentine's Day. So Heather puts Terry out. The girls come over, and Jen has on a white sweater with a red heart for Valentine's Day. So pretty much Heather apologizes. No, Gina apologizes to Heather about Katie. And so Heather said, she says, I'm confused and I'm irritated. And so, Heather expected Gina to tell Katie, like, it's not okay to do this, like a friend, right? Right. And it has to be hard for Gina because when you're trying to be both people's friends and they coming for each other or one's coming for the other, it's kind of hard because that person gonna do what they want to do. You can say, but you try to be in the middle because you're not trying to ride for one or the other, but then you really have to decide. And now it's this big mess. So at Katie's house, Shannon's over there. So Katie shows Shannon the text, the receipt. And Shannon was like, she believes the text. That's the proof that Heather is lying. And it's like, okay. Y'all remember last week the little proof of her asking the whole entire question. Did Heather call Pop? What's the nickname for paparazzi? The Pops or whatever, Rotsy or whatever. And did she call them and have them come to Disneyland where she was? And he just responded and said, yes. That's the text. So Heather is like, well, why is she lying? So Katie says that Gina regrets telling her to say something to Heather. So she said she's terrified, like Gina's terrified of Heather. And it's like, what? I'm trying to understand. I know they hung out in New York. When they got back, something weird was happening. I know something had happened. I don't know, something. Okay, so whatever. Gina's scared of Heather. Okay, moving on. So Emily and Emily and Tamara say Gina stands by Heather like she's afraid of her. But Emily's like, but she calls me out, because we're real friends. And so Tamara's like, yeah, that's what real friends supposed to do. And she's saying that because she thinks what she's doing to Shannon is being a friend. And it could be. But let me tell you something, besties. Don't be hollering and screaming at me in front of a whole bunch of people, calling me names like that's gonna help me. There's a way to do it, but that ain't it. You're not gonna holler at me into sobriety, okay? So Heather questions Gina about Katie. Peep this. You got to be careful. Here come Heather. Maybe she is something to be afraid of, but I like Heather going in on her. Like when, she had all the questions. When did you meet her? What did you have on when you met her? How was she dressed? When is her birthday? When did she tell you about this paparazzi thing? Why didn't you say something? I mean, she grilling you, Gina. Were you not prepared, Gina? Gina just folded. She just folded. So she says, was it before Sutton's? Was it before Sutton's Christmas party? Why didn't you tell me this in December? Like, Heather was coming, baby. So Gina's like, well, I never wanted it brought up. I told her, like, just keep it under wraps. So Heather was like, well, I wish you would have said something. And Gina says, I know, I effed up. I know. And so Heather's like, I just want Katie away from me. Because Jen is like, so where do we go now? What do we do now? Putting in her 2 cents. So she's like, so Heather's like, I'm not telling y'all what to do with her. I'm not telling you not to be her friend or to be her friend, but you definitely should pay attention to her character. Ooh, okay, Heather B. I like that. I like that style. I like the way she had the questions. She went in, she said what she had to say, and that was it. I like that. Okay, so Emily and Shane are out. They're eating pizza, just a casual dinner. He has on a jean jacket, just casual. They're out celebrating their 15th anniversary. She has some kind of questions game she's entertaining him with at the table, and he's all here for it. They have a cute little relationship. They look like they have fun together. Really looks like they enjoy one another's company. So, child, he pulls out the white box, honey. Go, Shane. Go, Shane. Shane has upgraded the engagement ring. Girl, that ring was talking to me. It was a sparkling and a shining. Shine bright like a diamond. It was, baby. It was beautiful. And so then, she gifted him the boudoir. Am I saying it right? I didn't even check the saying. The boudoir photo. We're going to go with that. Y'all know what I'm saying. Bourgeois, right? Bourgeois. She gifted the photo. It was huge. So she had what the server, they had it waiting on her. So they brought it out. It was humongous. So production had everybody in the restaurant looking back at them like it was so big it grabbed everyone's attention. So that's how big it was. So he looks at the outfit and he's like, you got this at home? And she like, yeah, I can put it on for you tonight. And he was like, yes, it's going down. Okay, so where the kids at? Clearly they at somebody's house, honey. So glad that went well. So Katie, because wait, I'm glad it went well because Emily looks great. High five to Emily. And Emily didn't get on my nerves this episode. She actually was saying the right stuff. Emily did not get on my nerves this episode. She was good. So Katie and Gina, they meet up for tea and coffee or whatever. And so, girl, Katie is like, I feel abandoned by you. You just didn't support me, blah, blah, blah. So Gina's like, well, Katie, I wanted you to communicate with Heather because you was telling everybody else about it, but I wanted you to tell her, straight up. So Gina said she felt like she have like she has to come to Heather's aid. Like, I'm gonna rock with Heather first because I'm closer to Heather. So Katie gets upset, child. She starts crying because she values Gina a lot. She loves Gina. And, she just feels like, but she feels like everything she told Gina was used against her. And it's like, what? See, you got to be careful with that mouth and that tongue. Be careful what you say. Just be careful when you talk to people, because stuff like that ain't going to stay where it's at. Okay. Where you leave it, it doesn't stay there. Okay. Um, so now okay. Huh. Okay, Katie, we're learning you. I'm taking notes and I'm kind of side eyeing you, but I'm gonna hold that and we're gonna see how we just I'm gonna wait. I want to see I want to see. I'm gonna do like Heather said, pay attention to her character. So that's what I'm doing, Katie, paying attention to your character. So Gina apologizes and she says she wants this to get better between them two. And Katie said maybe, but not for a while. Okay, and that's fine. You need time. You need to let it kind of settle, and you can move on later. Fine. So y'all, Shannon meets her dad for lunch. Gene the Machine. Mr. Gene the Machine. So they're talking, and so sorry. I get their names confused. I get that from my grandmother. She does that, but I'm gonna get better at it because I'm getting on my own nerves getting their names mixed up. So bear with me, besties. I'm new. Okay. So Shannon meets her dad, Gene the Machine. And so Shannon is telling us like the way they grew up in the house, there was always some wine in the refrigerator. This family was a lot of fun growing up. They believe in having fun, and she has fun. So I took that as okay. So this is how your drinking started. You probably used to sneak in the refrigerator and get your little something. We've all done that, but that doesn't constitute us becoming of age. But things happen. So it's like, okay, so Shannon probably grew up drinking. She grew up around drinkers. Okay, so this is kind of alluding to where she is now, putting the pieces together, right? So she tells her dad that she got to get a car and she got to put a breathalyzer in it for this program. And so he asked her, like, are you cutting down on your drinking? And so she says yes. And so I'm learning myself because, you know, when you get a DUI, it does seem like people go into a program and they just all always stop drinking. And maybe that's not the solution. Maybe you just need to control how much you drink. Because I drink not, but I'm just picturing myself in Shannon's shoes. So I'm just picturing myself, and this is just hitting me right now in this moment. If I got in my car drunk or whatever, tipsy, feeling nice, whatever you want to call it, and I get into an outrage with my boyfriend, and I go over there and act a fool and hit something, blah 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 blah, right? Would I stop drinking after all of that? I probably would not. I would go through the steps, get through the DUI, get my license together, blah blah blah, but I wouldn't stop drinking. Don't be calling me no alcoholic. you know, don't act like, but I would get into something to control myself. But that was that one incident. You got mad, you emotional, you fighting with your man, you go over there, you lost control because you just all, I mean, it is because of being drunk, but that probably would have happened if she hadn't been drinking. I think that's the point I'm making. I think that the outrage of John is why things went left, and of course, drinking. I mean, I'm not oblivious to that, y'all. Don't come for you. Say what you want. I don't care. But I'm just saying, I think that kind of would have happened if she hadn't been drinking too. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was her DUI scale? What was it? Was it just off the chain? Okay, maybe so. But I like to be on the fence. I like to see things both ways. So I'm thinking, would that have happened even if she wasn't drinking? Okay, well, let's say she was drunk and that's what happened because she was drinking. Okay, but my thing is, if I got myself together, I wouldn't stop. I would just make sure, like, let's get into it. But I'm just saying, like, okay, back to this. Focus. Okay, I am. Okay. So he asked her, well, did she cut down on her drinking? See, even Pops is like, you don't, to me, that question wasn't saying like, you should never drink again. It's just like, have you cut down? Like, you don't have to stop, cut down. That's like being fat and get on a diet and lose weight. Do you stop eating? Because you got fat and you reversed and you're skinny now? Do you stop eating? You just have to stop eating so much. Stay with me, y'all. I'm going somewhere with this. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Just follow me. I'll take you there. Okay, so he asked, did you cut down on your drinking? She says yes. He says, so you hit rock bottom and now you're going up. So cute. That's what you're supposed to say, right, Dad? Okay, so she tells him about John suing her for $75,000. So Heather, no. Shannon has to either do a payment plan, come up with some kind of payment plan, or he gonna sue her for the whole total amount, whatever. I mean, she got to come up with a payment plan, or he's suing her. So allegedly, he loaned her the money. Pops asked, did he? Because he thought you was giving, like he thought you give him money. And so she said, well, I never signed anything. He did give me the money, but I never signed nothing. Papa said, well, you got to fight him on this. Fight back. Fight tooth and nail. Go for the jugular. So clearly Dad got a coin and she gonna go get it from him so she can fight and go for the jugular. Cause yeah, but maybe I don't know. I was gonna say, well, why didn't she ask her dad for the money? Well, when you got a man, you just ask your man because your daddy probably said, well, don't you got a man? You can't ask other people stuff in a relationship. Okay, so moving on. So Tamara visits the ops. I'm in Alexis, and they discuss the upcoming dinner that Gina is throwing them. So Alexis can't understand why she was invited to dinner, but she wasn't invited to the golf event. Because do Katie even know you? I don't even think Katie kind of doesn't really like you. And I mean, come on. All you do is talk about John. Don't nobody want to hear all that. We were trying to have fun. That's why you didn't get invited. People want to have fun. And so, of course, we do know that. Well, see, and then I think Tamara told her, well, because they didn't want you to be there to disrespect Shannon. So Tamara says Shannon's life has been upside down for 10 years since David. Okay. And I think that might be about true because that hurt her. You didn't have these 3 kids with your husband. She didn't expect to divorce him and he cheat on her and all this mess had happened. Didn't they get renew their vows on an island somewhere? Oh, it was just horrible. So Shannon has put a lot of stress on Tamara. And Tamara has a point, but it's just her way of delivery. Just I don't agree with it. But anyway, let's move on and let's get into this Tamara thing. So she feels sorry for Shannon, and she's always been there for Shannon, and Shannon has never there for her. She's answered her calls every time she calls her in the middle of the night, drinking. Her kids be like, don't answer. Eddie is like, well, why are you answering? You can't fix her. Blah, blah. I mean, we've heard it. We believe it. So Tamara says that Shannon needs rehab. So Alexis was like, I thought she went. Tamara's like, no, she was in therapy to learn how not to date the wrong guys. Oh my God. So she's like, she's blaming John for her drinking. Well, duh. It take a bad relationship to cause you to drink. Duh. Didn't you know that was Simon? Wasn't you drinking? Tamara, you're a heavy drinker too. So you need to tread lightly. So Alexa says, well, he barely drinks since he's been with me. Well, of course, Alexis. Girl, that battery pack back there, we got to do some investigating on that battery pack, child, because it's a good one. It's a top tier battery pack. So Tamara tells Alexis how Shannon paid for everything when she was with John. Well, that's what she told us. And so he paid her $60,000 for her facelift. And Alexis says 75. And I have receipts. And she's going to need another facelift when she has to pick her jaw up off the floor when I provide the proof. Oh, okay, Alexis. She get on my nerves. Shut up. So Gina arrives to Benny's. They go to Benny and Mary's. This is the restaurant for dinner. It's in a private room because you know these ladies cannot be out in public. They know that these folks, Tamara, gonna be hollering and screaming. Vicky gonna be hollering and screaming. Shannon gonna be hollering, screaming, and crying. So let's go ahead and get this private room because we need space away from others. So the girls arrive, you know how they do, one at a time. So Tamara comes in with Alexis. Oh. And Tamara has on Gina's confessional look. You know, the black dress that droops down to the stomach, and then she has the sequence or the big old rhinestone sequence bra is silver. So Tamara has that on. And so, you know, what's her name? Gina says, my interview look. And so, besties, who do you think wore it best, Tamara or Gina? Gina says she wore it best, even though Tamara's boobs are bigger, but she thinks she looked better in it than Tamara. So, what do I think? Oh, who cares? It was cute. I'm gonna say Gina too because I noticed with the side by side, Tamara's breasts were kind of drooping down a little. Tamara was drooping. She needed on something to hold her girls up. Yeah. So yeah, Gina, I think you won that. But besties, tell me what you think. Did we rate the episode yet? Put your rate what you want what you think. It was I think it was good. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm giving everything a B, it seems like. But it was a B. Maybe could have been a B. I'll give it a B. You guys tell me in the comments what you rate this episode. So they get there and like there's no seating arrangements, no place cards. And Heather's like, oh my God, you have to have a place card name. You have to put the name, you gotta assign the seats. And she was like, especially for this dinner. So everybody's trying to figure out where to sit, honey, because it's just a mess. Heather can't sit by Katie. Gina can't sit by Heather either. Emily can't sit by Jen or Shannon. Jen can't. Shannon can't sit by Tamara or Alexis. It's just a mess. So Tamara sits next to Katie and tells her, oh, I'm so confused about the paparazzi thing. They're kind of like whispering while everybody's still trying to figure out their seats. So Katie tells Tamara what she told Gina. And then she said when they went to get tea and coffee, you know, they kind of talked about it. They apologized. And so she's rethinking her friendship with Gina. And I guess she's rethinking a lot. And so Alexis noticed Emily's new ring and she gets all excited, like, oh my God, let me see. Oh, it's so pretty. And I'm so surprised she didn't insert herself in John in the next sentence because that battery pack be batterying, okay? So Katie is sitting across from Alexis, right? So Alexis kind of gives her a little face card and, you know, she's ready to go in. So she says, so, you know, I wasn't invited to the golf. I heard about your golf event. And so she said, yeah, I had one. Mm-hmm. What? Mm-hmm. So Alexis says, so what was your thought process? Because I was left out. Katie says, well, she's getting to know Shannon and she wanted her to have a good day. Shoot, where she didn't have to feel like she was underwater. Like, we tired of you. Do you understand what you're doing? We don't even get to meet Alexis. We just keep hearing about John. So then Tamara says Alexis felt iced out. And so, and then it also feels like Shannon is trying to get everybody to push Alexis out. Well, she is. This is her group. She's the queen bee. And here come this thing. All she talk about is her ex-boyfriend and how great he is. Who wants to hear that? And you guys should know better. You shouldn't even want Alexis there. Like, why? Ugh. So now, every time you get together, it's going to be a fiasco. That's why you wasn't invited. People are tired of planning these beautiful events. They put their time, their precious money behind these events, vendors, blah, 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 just all the things that come with having an event. And then you bring these two together and Alexis shows her tail every time. Yes, Alexis, you're going to have to sit out sometimes. You should understand that. That should be understood. And you're in a new relationship. You shouldn't even have time to hang around these girls. Where's Johnny J? Where's Johnny? You say you with him all the darn time. Oh God. Okay. So where am I? Hold on, y'all. So child, wait. So let me go back. Did you guys see Heather's face? When Katie was saying, how Shannon feels like she's underwater and she wanted her to have a good day. Did y'all see Heather's face? Her reaction to Katie talking was like, ugh, a good day. Well, I didn't have a good day. So Alexis says, it's not fair. It's not fair. And it's like, no, Alexis, what's not fair is you always holding Johnny J's name over Shannon's head and all the other girls. Like I said, we tired. We know you in love. It's so cute. We love it. Okay, fine. Okay, be quiet. So, hold on. Yeah, and then you take all these chances to embarrass Shannon. So you already have the ex-boyfriend. You don't really have much. There's really nothing for you to say, Alexis. You can come into this group and just be nice and pleasant and warm. That's how you should be coming in the group. And you shouldn't even be bringing John up unless somebody asks you about him. They all know. So you can be quiet. Your presence says a lot, sweetheart. So the best thing that you should do, you should come in this group and just be a get along girl and meet the people. They let them get to know you. Talk about your kids. Talk about you. Where you been? We ain't seen you in this. Like there's other things to talk about. You're doing this to be nasty and you're doing a good job. Okay. You're doing a good job. You're doing this job beautifully, but there's another way you can come into this group. You just wrecking havoc. That's all you're doing. Just come in, sit down, and shut up. So Shannon arrives with Victoria. Victoria the Queen. Emily greets Vicky. And sometimes you forget Vicky's name is Victoria because she just really is Vicky. And it's like, okay, I do stand for Victoria. Yeah, you can forget that. So Tamara says Shannon brought her for backup, so she can look like the victim. And you over there with Alexis doing the same thing. So Vicky speaks to Alexis, like she says, hi everybody. She looked at her and said, hi Alexis. Alexis says, look who's in my world now. And Vicky kind of looked like, what? And then they flash back to like 632 years ago, back when Vicky said that same exact sentiment to Alexis and Jim. And it's like, oh my God, you guys. Vicky don't live there no more. Vicky has changed. Vicky has grown. Vicky don't live there no more. She doesn't. She moved on, Alexis. So Vicky tells Alexis to sit down, bitch. Okay, maybe she hasn't changed, but she moved along a little bit. So Vicky tells Shannon that she can have a drink because she's not driving. And I'm like, a little peer pressure, a little bit, Victoria, because in the car, you asked Shannon, were you guys going to be whooping it up? And Shannon said, no, she wasn't drinking. So here you are pushing this in front of these heifers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So Tamara says, oh yeah, an alcoholic should be drinking. Yeah. Child, the silence of the lamb. Everybody was just sitting there on awkward. Yeah, you know, Gina got them big, her eyes can get huge. They're beautiful, but they can get huge. Mouths are open, eyes are popped. It was like, oh my God, Tamara. So Vicky says she can have alcohol, she just can't get behind the wheel. Ever, 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 ever. Tamara asks Vicky, so you think she doesn't have a drinking problem? Shannon, I swear I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at what Tamara said because that was funny. I'm sorry, Shannon. You're good. You know you're good. So Shannon tells Tamara that she has been on this path with her for 10 years and she has had it. Shannon is like, she is about to lose it with Tamara. And so Tamara is hollering now. So she said, everyone has. Everyone's been on this path with you. So Shannon asked, who made you the judge and the jury of what my sentence is? Oh my God. Okay, that was a good one, Shannon. And so Shannon tells her, every day I wake up, I think about what happened every freaking day. And it's like, okay, calm down. Tamara, see what you done did? So Tamara, oh my gosh, she goes for the jugular. And she asks, is that after you have a drink? I said, oh my God. Oh, Tamara. Oh my God. No, you are not a friend. You can't be. This is too much. Gina's eyes are about to pop out her eye socket and roll down her face and hit the table. Child, it was like, oh my goodness. So thank God the attorney, Emily, butts in. And she says, I think Shannon, she's like, you can be mad at me if you get mad if you want, but I think Shannon has changed. And so Tamara said, I'm not mad, but I hope so. So Gina's like, well, she's doing a good job working on herself. But she tells Tamara, this is not the way to get whatever it is whatever you're looking for. This is not the way to do it. Says Gina, who had a DUI also. And so she said, it's not fair. It's not for Tamara to decide if Shannon is an alcoholic. And that made me think, besties, I was kind of like, like maybe there's some point to that. But I mean, at the same time, though, Tamara has been this girl's savior for 10 years. She has seen it, she has heard it. So I don't know. Maybe Tamara can be the judge and the jury in this part. Maybe she can. I mean, she's been down that road with her for 10 years. She may have a point. But I do think it's cold to be hollering, you're an alcoholic. I think that is cold to be hollering that out at the person who, like, she doesn't know that. Okay. Maybe you should say something else. You have a problem. Maybe just stick to drinking problem. I like just, you have a drinking problem. Yeah, let's stick to that. So, notice in Gina's confessional, she changed her outfit, honey, since Tamara is working her confessional outfit. Honey, that next confessional, honey, Gina was in something cuter and her hair was cuter. I like this look much better than the last. This look was much better than the Tamara Gina dress. So Gina says that this is not how you treat your friends. And I could not agree with you more, Gina. Like, this is like, it's too much. It's too strong. It's too harsh. You're fed up. We get it. But we think that really the fed upness is about the Tres Amigas ending. But you left. And I mean, that was, come on, Tamara. They were owed a conversation. When you were deciding to depart the show, the tour, they shouldn't have had to figure out that you abandoned them. You should have said something. So Gina's like, you're on the show, and I'm thinking to Gina, they might not be friends anymore. And if they were, they not now. But I thought they weren't friends when they was at Heather's. Like the whole, I don't want to talk to you. I'm done with this. I thought Tamara broke up with Shannon then. Okay, so I get because they're barely talking. Like they're not really talking. Tamara just kind of being cordial, but I thought they broke up at Heather's party. Okay. So maybe, and maybe nobody's all getting it because this is just like a month. I think the Heather's party was like New Year's, and this is around Valentine's Day. So we're talking about a month and some change. So maybe everybody hasn't really got it through their head. And Gina's been busy. She's been putting Travis out. She got the drama with Katie and Heather. So maybe she's not up to date in knowing what, Shannon and Tamara got going on. So Shannon points out Tamara's drinking. And she said, you get wasted all the time over here, over there, like here, I had to hold your hand, I had to hold your hair, you were throwing up. Just, I'm just adding to it. So Tamara's hollering again. There's a difference between drinking and having a good time and being an alcoholic. Stop calling her that. Call her having a drinking problem. Shoot. So dinner arrives, and Katie and Jen are complimenting each other's plates. That looks good. Oh, it looks great, because they are trying their best not to laugh. So then Gina asks Vicky, how do you feel about this? So Vicky says it's disgusting because they're friends. The whole fighting is just disgusting. So Emily tells Vicky, well, you fight all the time. Emily, golly, she know when to talk. Okay, I'm liking Emily this episode. I haven't liked her for doing them digs at Jen, but she's on it. She's on it. She's keeping everything going. So she said, you post stuff about Tamara all the time. So Emily is talking about when Tamara got on the show Traders, and she posted it. Vicky made a comment and said that she is on the right show. It's perfect for her because she traded. She didn't betray Vicky and Shannon, but she traded them instead of betrayed them. And so where am I at? So Vicky tweeted and said it's the perfect show for you, talking to Tamara. So Tamara says, no, I'm not a traitor. I'm faithful. I just decided to vote you two out. So I guess that's a term from Traders, because I was like, voted you two out? Okay, so maybe that's what you do on Traders. And Besties, you can tell me if that's correct. But it's easy to assume that's where that came from. So Tamara says she didn't feel comfortable doing the show after Shannon crashed into the house. She needs to go to rehab. And Vicky says she did. Tamara's like, she went to therapy to figure out why she dates bad guys. And it's like, Tamara, just your repetitiveness cracks me up. You've said that, and you've said it again. So Alexis is laughing, old punk. She over there laughing. And Shannon gets up. She is done with this. And so she tells Tamara that this has to stop. And so she said, I've had 2 combos with you. So Tamara says, and you were drunk every time. And it's like, oh my God, dang, Tamara, dang. Like, Shannon, you can't win. Shannon, you cannot win. Keep walking out the room, girl. Just go. Just go. Go, girl, go. Because Tamara is not backing off of you. Go. I'm giving you permission to leave the room. So Shannon tells her before she leaves, I couldn't drink in my program. Here go Tamara. Lie, 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 lie. You need to stop whatever it is you're doing. What am I doing? Uncovering your bull crap and how you had to pay for everything for John, but you owe him $70,000. Here go Alexis. She corrects her. 75,000. 75. Oh my God, you guys, really? So petty, these grown women. So Emily asks, because Shannon leaves, Emily asks, why does Shannon owe money? Like, what is that coming from? Because, Shannon told everybody that she pays for everything. So Alexis says, now Alexis is calling Shannon face. No, she didn't call her. No, let's take that back. Slow down. Sorry. So Alexis said it was a facelift and a loan. So Shannon tells Alexis, I know you've been coached. And Alexis was like, do you want receipts? And grabs her phone. Shannon's like, because he's been giving them all to you. And so Alexis like, I have the wire transfers right here if anyone would like to see them. And I think that's when Shannon left. So, Gina's sitting next to her. So she looking at the phone and she's like, oh, look, it's a real receipt. Hence Katie and her fake receipt. So Emily looks at it too. And so she said, now, is this a gift or a loan? It's a loan. So Vicky asks Alexis, why are you involved in John's money problems with Shannon? And so here goes Alexis, battery on. Because his reputation has been demolished. And so, you've been fed by her. You don't know the truth. So Vicky says, you don't know the truth. You're learning this all from John. I'm telling you, there's a lot more. And if she wants to go toe to toe and blah, 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 says Alexis. She just, the battery pack is just going, child. So Jen gets up to go check on Shannon. So we find Shannon standing on a wall somewhere over there by the hostess station in the restaurant. And she kind of fake crying. And so it's like she tells Jen, like, she's so upset because nobody came out to see if she's okay. Jen just came out to see if you were okay. So what are you saying? Someone has come out. They're all in there fighting, arguing, fussing, fighting, girl. They want to hear what's going on. And so Alexis and Tamara are showing receipts totaling $75,000. So Shannon says, no, it's $65,000. And it's like, okay. And so Shannon's like, clearly he's suing me because he's spending too much money over there with Alexis. He need more. He running out of money because Alexis, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And so she says, no one knows the story she could put out on him. And I'm like, well, girl, what's the story? What is the story? What is the story? So, because tell us what's going on with the John Jensen, honey, because I'm so ready for you to shut Alexis up. Come on, Shannon, tell us. Let's do it. So Shannon says he is a monster. So production gets Shannon on her confessional and asks her, in what way is he a monster? So Shannon kind of thinks about it, like, oh, I should have said that. He's already suing me. I don't need him to add this to the suit. So she just kind of doesn't answer because, yeah, he'll probably sue her for that. Defamation of character. So Victoria says she's going to go find Shannon. Tamara goes up to her and says, it wasn't because, like she's telling her about, the Tres Amigas. It wasn't because of, you. It was because of her. That's why I backed out of Tres Amigas. It was because of her. So Vicky says, but Shannon needs a hug. She needs you're going to be okay. The DUI is not a label for her on her for life. Like, so Tamara is telling Vicky, you're enabling her. She said, no, I'm not. I'm not giving her a bottle. So Tamara says, well, I'm not enabling her. I'm a friend. And that will not allow you. I'm going to be the friend that's not going to allow you to drink and doesn't hold you accountable. Like what Vicky's doing. So what if the next time she gets drunk and has the DUI, the next time she may unalive someone? She needs to stop drinking, get help, or I'm done with this relationship. And Jen tells Shannon, go back in there. Tell them what you're thinking. She's like, no way, no way. Now Alexis is at the table calling Shannon a liar face. I'm going to get liar face. I have more receipts with liar face. And it's like, really? So Emily says Alexis is doing herself a disservice, by acting like this. So she calls it like you're being John's defender. Like you're not allowing any of us to get to know you. And I agree. And I've said that already. Like, Every time, like, girl, you gonna miss a whole bunch of events because people don't want to hear about John Jensen no more. We don't want to know. So Heather finally says something. And what do you guys think about what Heather said? I felt like Heather could have just kept quiet. And maybe that's why this show, I'm gonna actually give it a B minus based off of what Heather says, because I was like, huh, girl, what? Huh, girl, what? So Heather says, well, you're bringing too much. Like, she wants Alexis to bring her aggression down, and someone else had mentioned that before. Like, you need to calm down a little bit. You just attacked on Shannon has to stop. So she tells Alexis, like, you need to bring the aggression down so that maybe you can become friends with Shannon. What? Why do anybody want to be friends with Alexis? Why would Shannon want to be friends with her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend? How is that supposed to work, Heather? Nah, Heather. Nah. Heather, you've been off the market a long time. You don't even know how this is supposed to work. They don't need to be friends. It's not going to happen. I don't even know why Tamra is trying to be friends with Alexis, because I would still be talking about my $50,000. What is happening, Heather? Like, Heather should have kept quiet. So Alexis said, well, she wants to get to know her. What? No, you don't. Okay, and Emily. Okay, maybe we'll go back to a B because of what Emily says. Emily says, you can't say that and bring receipts at the same time. Alexis says, yes, I can. And Tamara's hollering, why can't she? Tamara, you putting on too much. How about Tamara needs to calm down her aggressiveness? Because it's not about the 10 years. It's not. It's about that Trace Amigas, I believe. I believe she's mad that she had to walk. She chose to walk away and lose a bag, and she's really mad. And she has a right to be mad, but it's just you're not doing it right. Tamara, you're too old to not know how to handle. But then again, you guys, we are talking about a woman who doesn't have a good relationship with her own kids. So, hey, maybe Tamara's not acting because she can't get that together with that daughter of hers. So Tamara's hollering, why can't she? So child Alexis gets up, honey. That battery needs to go get recharged. It has been working overtime. It's getting low. It needs to get back to a charger. Alexis, report back to the charging station. Your battery is low. So Alexis gets up. If and they will come, and she's oh no, I'm sorry, you guys. She said, if you're gonna lie about my guy, guess what? I have more receipts and they will come out. And then she storms out. Goodbye, Alexis. Bye. Somebody go close the door and make sure it's locked. Whew. Now Vicky gets up. She's about to leave. And she tells whoever at the table, because everybody leaving. I guess all the other girls are there, but Shannon's, I don't know. Did Jennifer come back? Yeah. I guess it's just Alexis and Shannon not at the table. So Vicky is like, she tells them, this is toxic, too toxic. We need to be kind to each other. We are all women and we need to build each other up, especially being women of faith. And we're all believers of Jesus Christ. You're a believer, you're a believer, you're a believer, she's a believer. And we just can't treat people this way. And so Heather in her confessional is like, Vicky, what? She's like, I find this rich. And I don't know what that means, but I liked it. I find this rich. I like that. Okay. I guess we could go into a B plus. Because y'all, I'm going back and forth. So Emily tells promotion, show Vicky being disgusting. And they show all these flashbacks. So maybe we might move up to it's still, we're gonna maintain that B plus. That was good. That was good. Emily was good this season. So Vicky tells them that we have to have some compassion. So Tamara gonna holler, I did for 10 years. So now Vicky is hollering, it's never okay to drink and drive. It's never okay. But what I'm saying is this is just icky. So Tamara shouts back, she needs to be in a rehab program. So Vicky hollers back, you don't get to determine that. Yes, she does. She's a effing alcoholic. So Tamara and Vicky are going back and forth, back and forth. And then Victoria leaves. Katie says dinner was delicious. And Gina thought this dinner was going to bring everyone back together. Well, Gina, you are wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Okay, besties, that's the end of the episode, and that is the end of the review. Tell me what your thoughts were. Comment in the section below, and I will see you on the next video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe so you can be notified of the next video, and I'll see you later. Bye, besties.